reactive systems and why they're like beehives. And I've done, that's a fun one. I've done things like why containerization of applications is just like cells in the body and the comparison between the two, and security of applications is just like our immune system in human beings. So I love drawing analogies between biology and tech. It's a fun thing to do.
So welcome to the podcast, Grace.
Thanks. Appreciate being here. It's great to join you.
Yeah, it's great fun. We're recording at Dev. I guess we're halfway through the conference.
Yeah, I guess.
Already.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe how quickly that's gone.
No, exactly. I feel that my head is getting fuller, so that's a clear sign. It's been a few sessions.
Yep.
Yeah. So what brought you to the conference?
Yeah. So this is my first time at the conference, which is it's great to join a new community.
Yeah.
See a new place. I've been to Sweden a couple of times, but to Stockholm. So never to anywhere else. So it's really nice to meet new people, especially from the local area. But I'm at the conference to speak. So I had 2 sessions. One today, one yesterday. And they're on different topics, but it's nice to be able to share something and have some great discussions with people.
So now you can relax for the rest of the...
It's much more chill now.
Something sort of...
You like breathe a sigh of relief, I think, exactly. when the final one's done.
And I assume they both went well?
Yes, they did, thank you. Yeah, I had, the one yesterday was great. I had about 165 people, so a good number.
That's really good.
Today was a bit less, but 70, so still really great. And it was that after lunch lull, you know, when I swear half the audience is asleep, and I don't blame them. You know?
Exactly.
I'm half asleep on stage with a full stomach. But it was great.
It's a danger when the food goes down too easy.
Oh, totally. Yep. Especially it's really good food here. So.
They really hit the nail on the head with it, like the type of food and managing to serve it to everyone. So
and hot. Because it's difficult to serve this many people with hot food.
It's kind of cool. So what were your topics?
So yesterday was cloud native observability. So looking at sort of open source frameworks like open telemetry, and specifically diving into things like distributed tracing. I did a live demo where I was showing how you could do it in a Java application with open source specifications like microprofile. So that was yesterday's. And then today's was how do we get tools and technologies that allow us as developers to be more productive on our own machines, but using cloud native tools. So trying to be more like the production environment.
I feel like both of these are aimed at my what we do at work right now, because we've just started a project to increase our tracing and logging in a good way.
Oh, cool!
And open telemetry is involved. So.
Yep. I think with most people, as soon as you mention tracing and distributed observability, it's kind of the first thing that pops into people's heads. So it's a great technology.
It seems really.
And it's great that it's so polyglot because, so many of our applications aren't just Java or JavaScript or Node or .NET, whatever it might be. So many of them have different elements with different languages. It's nice to be able to have that standard that goes across all of those because I think that's sometimes lacking in a lot of the other standards that are out there.
Yeah, it can become surprisingly specific and narrow all of a sudden.
Yes, totally. Yep.
So first, I guess I should say that links to the videos will be in the show notes when this comes out as a podcast episode.
Great.
Because they're usually nice and fast about getting it out.
Yep.
So I can go watch it as well because I didn't have the time. But it sounds like I need this.
Especially if you guys are already doing it in your own organization.
Yeah, I mean, we just started. We had a workship about it for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
I think it was literally last week. Might have been the week before.
Full deep dive.
Yeah. So we got started. We didn't have time to finish that much. And then, other stuff happens.
Yes. Stuff gets in the way, right? Life happens.
Someone presented a nice little package in a presentation during the workshop. Like, this is what we'll use. This is how it'll work. Oh, by the way, don't start using it yet. We need to deploy it first or stuff, things like that.
Yep.
Very early and racing along. But
that sounds like a really cool workshop, though.
Yeah. It was fun. It's good when you can sort of take time off from all the other stuff together as well.
Yes. As a team.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple
ones and talk through stuff. So, but I'm looking forward to using it. Is there anything in particular I should know that's not in the talk?
I guess. So, are you using Java or are you using a different language?
Yes.
Java.
No, we have a bit of Java. We have a lot of other stuff as well. I guess where we'll mostly use it is, we have a bunch of JavaScript, TypeScript frontends, and some Node backends, and then we have some C++ in the further backend,
right?
So to speak.
A lot of things coming together,
yeah,
being knitted together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess we want to thread it through all of those eventually.
Yep, that makes sense. And the nice thing is you can with OpenTelemetry, so that's pretty cool. I mostly focus in the Java area. So for Java applications, it's even easier because MicroProfile has implemented the OpenTelemetry specification. Are you familiar with MicroProfile?
Nope.
Oh, cool. So MicroProfiles, it's a really cool community specification. So it's, are you familiar with Jakarta?
It rings a very distant bell. But
yeah, for most people, right? It was the same on my talks. So you're not alone.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Knowing that you're with other people.
Yeah, exactly. In good hands.
Yep. So we had previously Java EE. Java EE was open sourced and became Jakarta EE.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No. So Jakarta EE is essentially Java EE just open sourced. It's now run by the Eclipse Foundation. And another project under the Eclipse Foundation is MicroProfile. So MicroProfile and Jakarta EE, the communities that build them, work very closely together. In fact, it's a lot of the same individuals who work on both specifications. So MicroProfile builds on top of the APIs offered by Jakarta EE and then offers additional APIs on top that are really designed to help people who are making cloud-native Java applications, especially enterprise level, ready for microservices, for cloud-native infrastructure, that kind of thing. So introducing APIs like health checks, like being able to use reactive messaging, being able to do things like, there's some shared specifications with Jakarta, so things like JSONP, JSONB, CDI injection. And then recently, they've been introducing things like OpenAPI and things like telemetry and tracing. So one of the newest things that they've just introduced, MicroProfile 7's just come out. And in that, they've introduced MicroProfile Telemetry 2.0, which, as well as enabling OpenTelemetry tracing, also enables OpenTelemetry logs and metrics. So they're really coming together as like trying to adopt, standard specifications like these. And trying to bring those into the Java world. So if you've not checked it out before, microprofile.io, really cool community-driven spec.
Awesome.
I love it because it's developed by so many people and so many different companies.
That's always good.
It really does feel like a community and less so like a open source project that's driven by one company, for example. It's the nice thing is that there's a lot of portability and flexibility between the runtimes that implement it. So I work on OpenLiberty, which is one runtime that implements it, but things like you might have heard of Quarkus, Pyara, JBoss, Tommy E, all of those implement MicroProfile. So it's nice that there really is sort of growing interest in it and a growing ecosystem around it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm biased, but
but I mean, like you say, having many people, many companies involved rather than just one, and there being an ecosystem is all very good science. Or
yes, I feel like if you're going to improve something, you need many minds.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
many ideas, many voices, and that diversity of people. So I love the fact that it has all of that. So it's a cool one, and I use it a lot in my day-to-day work. So
so what happens when you start implementing it and start getting information rolling in? Are there any like classic surprises or non-surprises or problems you run into?
I feel like the biggest thing when people start talking about OpenTelemetry before knowing how to use it or before using it, I think the biggest, not mistake, but sort of assumption people make is that it's going to fix all their observability problems.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, oh, this is an end-to-end system. Like I can bin all my other observability tools. And it's like, no, hold your horses. Okay. Let's take a step back. OpenTelemetry is a fantastic tool for instrumentation, but I think many people either forget or don't think about necessarily the fact that there's multiple steps, I would say, to actually enabling observability in a system. The first of those is instrumentation in your app and in your system. That's where OpenTelemetry comes in. But you've also got to send that data somewhere, analyze it somewhere, visualize it somewhere, because it's all well and good having the data. But if you're not understanding the data and understanding the trends within it and being able to visualize that, then it's kind of useless. So I think a lot of people just assume it will do all of the above, whereas really you need tools you need a complement of tools, right, that work together. So things like Prometheus, Grafana, Kibana, Fluentd, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
All of them work really well with OpenTelemetry, but I think people just assume they can use one tool to rule them all. It's like, no, it's a collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an easy trap to fall into as well. I think if I just gather the data, okay, now I have a pile. I can't find anything.
Look at all this data I've got.
Exactly. We have that feature with some of our logging at least.
Yes.
There's a lot of data here. How do I find anything?
And where's the value in it?
Yeah.
Because it costs money.
Yeah.
We got to think about the fact that, all of this compute power, where are you storing all of those logs or metrics or, tracing data? If you're not gaining value from it, it's just money wasted.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we do the second two steps, I think, as well.
Yeah, and I know that people at work have good plans for that, but I guess for a listener in general who's hearing about this and starting to think about it, is there a natural starting point for like finding something to improve, making sense of your data, or is it very much down to each situation?
I would say, we're developers, right?
Yeah.
We're all very opinionated people, I would say. Wait, what? Me?
No, absolutely not.
So it's very much there's not one tool that I would say, this is the tool you must use. I would say that's the benefit of having a standard like OpenTelemetry. But in terms of the visualization and analyzing steps, really it depends on what kind of data you're collecting, what telemetry data is it? Is it a trace? Is it a log? Is it a metric?
Yeah.
Because different tools are better suited to different data. So for example, if it's, like metrics, it might be Prometheus. If it's tracing data, it might be Jaeger or something like that. It's really, it depends on what you care about and what you're trying to collect.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is that there's lots of tools available. And they're already very established. There's lots of documentation out there, lots of starter and beginner applications that you can take a look at to learn how to use those. Yeah,
because my thinking is that what we're after is figuring out what went on in like multiple parts of the system when the user got this error.
Yep.
Okay, we have that already. We have a log of that. We might have a log of the backend somewhere else. Can we?
But what happened in between?
Exactly, and can we put it together and actually find the whole thing?
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about in my presentation. Is I think so. Fun fact, I come from a biology degree, so I like to try and bring biology in whenever I can.
Yeah.
So I was giving this analogy in my presentation of when we compare medicine to software development. In medicine, you present the doctor with biometrics, so it might be your heart rate at the time, or it might be your blood pressure, or it might even be things like medical history. So all of this, or notes, can provide the doctor with metrics and say logs, because you get a time-stamped message at that time of what's their blood pressure, what's their oxygen level. The difficulty with medicine, for example, is diagnosing an adult is very different to diagnosing a baby. And the difference between those two is one can provide context. An adult can turn around to you and say, "Oh, well, I've hurt my head and I actually fell over the other day, so maybe it's just a bruise." Whereas a baby, suddenly they're crying. You have no idea. Did they bump their head? Did they not bump their head? Where does it hurt? They can't communicate this. And I think in software, we often deal with metrics and logs as if they're sort of everything we need. Whereas, as you say, they don't provide us that all-important context of what happened before, what happened after, what happened during.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we need to almost bring in, like medicine brought in. We need to bring that into software. And I think that's where distributed tracing can really help in providing that sort of very important, here's the exact steps that request took through multiple disseminated microservices. And here's where something went wrong. This is the exact point. This is what happened before. To give you that real sort of pinpoint of, okay, I understand now what went wrong. What can I do to fix it?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think people who are only using logs and metrics sometimes miss out on that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting there. I think we're on the right path.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to hear that.
I think that's the sort of, at least right now, technology changes so fast. Who knows what the future could bring. But at least right now, I think that's a good solution to trying to add in that context.
Yeah, and it feels like, even if the tech changes, the approach is probably the right one anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
And I like what you said about bringing in biology context.
I love it. I do it in as many talks as I can.
Yeah.
Because I think with tech, the really like challenging thing is everything's abstract.
Yeah.
So you've got to like imagine this world of the cloud and my application in it. And it sometimes can be really challenging, and especially to remember things, it can be hard. Yeah. So I find that if I try and bring in a physical, tangible biology analogy, people often remember it a bit better and kind of have something tangible to relate it back to. Like in the past, I've done reactive systems and why they're like beehives. And I've done, that's a fun one. Yeah. I've done things like why containerization of applications is just like cells in the body, and the comparison between the two, and security of applications is just like our immune system in human beings. Yeah. So I love drawing analogies between biology and tech. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and I think it's maybe a big word, but I think it's very healthy for tech people to think a bit more about biology and the world as well.
Yes. Sometimes we get caught up in our little bubbles. Sometimes it can be nice to have a different perspective.
I thought it was really great. A number of years ago now, there was a keynote speaker here at Öredev actually who was talking about AI and superintelligence and stuff.
Oh, cool!
And that was fun. But it's all tech. Things accelerating exponential. Oh, wow. And then there was another speaker who was a biologist, and she was writing a book on resurrecting mammoths from DNA.
Oh, cool.
And I talked to her about AI, and she was like, no, this is not going anywhere. You think you understand intelligence. You don't. Look at bumblebees. They do this. They have this brain of nothing.
Yep.
And you can get them to watch TV. Yeah, she done this.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and they had a discussion as well about it, and it feels like it's so easy in tech to just think of the abstract, and of course this is going to build on another thing, but you don't even have a natural staircase of intelligence. We don't know what we mean when we say intelligence.
Yep.
We have all this biology that's affecting us, and we talk like we could take intelligence out and put it in a jar, and then if we have two more, exactly, and then we have two more jars. We have 3 times the intelligence.
Well, we've got an amazing intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
going to so.
That's like there was a really good session here actually at Öredev. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday by Dr. Sven Jungsman.
Oh,
really cool session about he's a doctor who's now an entrepreneur, and he's been researching, can we teach machines to smell?
Oh,
and it seems like such an easy concept. You're like, of course, why would we not be able to teach machines to smell? But as he pointed out, he was like, actually, there's far more to smell than even we realize, because we as human beings don't actually have a very good sense of smell. Yeah. If you look at dogs, dogs have an incredible sense of smell, and they see the world in a completely different way to the way we see it. Yeah. So can we teach a machine to be like a dog? Yeah. And how do we as human beings teach a machine to be like a dog when we can't understand
we can't do it?
Yeah, totally. So it's all these like questions that, when you first raise that question of can we teach machines to smell, your obvious kind of assumption is, yeah, why not?
Yeah, we just build a sensor.
Yeah, exactly. We just build a sensor. We add some machine learning, AI in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just stick all of that magic box stuff in, and it'll work. Yeah. But his session was really great at breaking that down and showing actually, even though we've advanced this far in machine learning and AI, we're not quite there yet.
No.
And these are the reasons why.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to have that different perspective of someone who's in the world of medicine or biology to give us a bit of a sort of restart and be like, guys, I know you've gotten far, but let's take a step back and look at the natural world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you actually know where you're going?
Yep. And look at all of this evolution that's happened over millennia. Yeah. How are we expecting to catch up so quickly?
Yeah, exactly. It's fascinating.
It's a really cool crossover, I think.
Yeah. It feels like there's a lot to learn, a lot to pick up from there.
Yeah.
Make things a bit more sensible.
Totally.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's time for the term AI to take a nap. I don't know. Maybe it's just me on my grumpy days.
Been around too long.
No. Yeah. But, We interrupt the regular show for a quick but huge thank you to everyone sponsoring us on Ko-fi. You too can become one of them by surfing to ko-fi.com/KODSNACK and giving us either a one-time donation or a monthly support. If you support us on the coffee drinker level for €5 or more per month, you get a bunch of very nice stickers in your actual mailbox. If you support us on the barista level for €10 per month or more, you also get a big thank you right here. Big thanks to Martin Hagen, Svante Richter, Michelle, Alvin Groen, Anders Legell, Brother, Ingo, and Tobbe Lundberg. Everyone who supports us helps make this podcast possible, and the more of you there are, the better we can make the podcast. We do sometimes have sponsors, but it's your support which is actually making it possible to cover our monthly costs on a regular basis. If you want to support us in other ways, you can of course give the podcast a review in your podcast player. Give it a thumbs up, a star or something, write a comment or whatever your player supports. Or simply tell someone who might like the podcast about an episode. But remember, you are a fantastic person, whether you support us or not.
It's a cool one. I just like the crossover, as you say, between the two and the potential for tech to have an influence in that sphere, and for us, as you say, to learn from, nature has had millennia to continuously improve. Yeah. So why aren't we using that learning more? Yeah. So, things like all of the different sort of machine learning models that are based off nature, like the ant model, for example, and all of these that allow us to be able to take the best of nature and utilize it in tech. Things like being able to restructure the way that we design hardware, like chips, memory, being able to redesign it to mimic neurons in the brain. Of course. Yeah. Why not? It's the most efficient storage system we know of.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Yeah. So why wouldn't we copy it? And why wouldn't we try and implement that in our software and in our hardware? And I just think there's almost infinite possibilities for us to be able to collaborate between the two areas and learn from each other and improve. So I always like going to talks that combine the two, and I try and do it on my own. But, it's good fun.
Yeah. It feels like a good direction to be excited about as well.
Yes, totally.
Because I feel like that's also something I'm very, very curious about, because AI feels like it's so much in the spotlight now. Yeah. So I'm curious what will come. What will the next exciting thing be that people get?
That's like pulling something out of the hat.
Of course.
Because there's so many, even things like there's so many job roles that exist now that didn't exist even 5 years ago. It's crazy. Like whenever I go into, because I do a lot of volunteering, I'm a woman in tech, and diversity, not just women and gender, but diversity across tech, I think still needs to be improved.
Absolutely.
So I try and go in and talk to young females at school age to encourage them, give a role model, show that not all sort of careers in technology are just coding in a dark room. No. There's a lot out there that you can do.
Fewer and fewer are.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. There's so many different, you could be a designer, you could be a product manager, whatever. Being able to show them that. And, even when I go into schools, it's really interesting to be able to talk to them about the fact that, there are roles now that didn't exist 5 years ago. So when you grow up, there will be brand new roles. Yeah. So keep your eyes open. Be curious.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't hold yourself to a box and be like, that's all I'm going to be. Yeah. I think our industry changes too much.
Yeah, and you can find roles that suit you perfectly.
You can make roles
exactly.
that suit you.
Yeah. I mean, that's some of the most interesting people have done that.
Totally,
They make it seem like there was a path there, but the path was being them.
They made the path.
Yeah, exactly. And the trick is that we all do.
Yes.
Even if we don't realize it, we think we want to be like someone else. But nobody else can be like us, which is much, much nicer.
Totally. Yeah. I like to say that about, I've given a couple of talks where I try and encourage more people to get up on stage and to present at conferences like this, because I think the title of my talk is being unique with a capital Y-O-U.
Oh, yeah.
Being
good.
you,
Very good. Yeah.
Because I think people don't realize that, like, but what do I have to share? Yeah. I'm like, there's something everyone can share because you've had a unique journey, you've got a unique insight, a unique perspective. It's just thinking about what could you share that would help people, that people need to sort of realize. That's the realization point. And then, give it at a jug, give it at a meetup, give it at an internal event, see if it resonates. I love hearing other people's stories about, the weird crossovers they found in their life. Because it's something I would never find or I would never realize.
Exactly.
You know?
Everyone has interesting stories.
Totally.
Yeah. So do you have any tips for getting people to realize that? Because I feel like that's the really hard part.
Yes.
Everyone, including myself, I'm like, I don't have anything to say.
And that's totally how I felt starting out.
Yeah.
You know, I came into this role. I've been in this role for 7 years now at IBM. I joined, having done a biology degree, I joined, and the first day they were like, right, so we're going to be working with Java. I was like, what's Java? We're like, okie dokie, we've got a brand new person here. They don't have a clue. So it was completely new to me. And yet I joined this team where I was, you know, in a role as a developer advocate where I was going to be expected to go out and help people and help developers. And the language was older than I am. I was like, how am I ever going to learn this all? So it was this realization of actually, it's kind of that thing, you know, everyone feels imposter syndrome at some point.
Definitely.
I don't think there's a single person out there who's never felt it, depending on the situation. But I think it's accepting that imposter syndrome and being okay with it and saying, you know what, yes, Java is huge, and I probably won't ever learn all of it. And that's okay, you know, because that's why you work with other colleagues who know other parts of it. You know, it's about teamwork, collaboration. So I think I had a realization where I was like, do you know what? There must be something that I can bring to the table that would help people in a positive way using my unique skills. So I think the first thing, as you say, giving advice is identify what makes you unique. What distinguishes you? What are your passions? What are your interests? So for me, it was, I love biology, I love technology. I'm a very visual person. So I like to have things like diagrams, analogies, tangible things. Whereas I know a friend of mine, who was actually speaking at the conference as well, he loves F1. And he did a whole talk on how F1 and software engineering are alike.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw someone take a photo of
Yep.
F1 cars.
Yep, it was probably him.
Yes, must be.
He loves it. So he did this whole presentation around his passions. And, you know, I joined his session and was like, I don't see how there's any similarities. You know, where did the two come together? And by the end of the session, I was like, oh yeah, this makes complete sense. So finding out what makes you tick, what makes you unique, and then figuring out, okay, is there a way in which that could positively help someone else? So whether it's you draw an analogy between the two, or whether it's actually, it's not necessarily your passion, but actually you had a really good or bad experience learning this or trying this out. And sharing that experience is also helpful. So figuring out what is it that you've done or learned or tried that could be shared to then help other people. I think that's the starting point. And once you have that, then reach out to things like your local Java user group, or your local, if you're not a Java developer, your local user group, even things like conference organizers, and say, do you think this would be something that people would be interested in? And if it's not, they'll be able to help you figure out what would be. So use your network, use your community.
It's one of those superpowers as well, like asking people about stuff. It's
totally.
I'm so impressed by people who do it, or remember to do it, so to speak.
Honestly, when I first joined IBM, I was a scientist, right? So I liked asking why. I liked knowing the why behind things. And so I spent my entire first year just asking why.
That's a superpower.
And I had no idea. Literally. My manager was like, oh, that's a really good question. I was like, is it? You know, I didn't know that before. But as you say, people just aren't comfortable or don't think of it or don't remember to.
Or assume people will say no to something.
Yes. And really, what's the worst that could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a question.
Yeah.
I remember the first year I was in IBM, I got invited to speak at the IBM conference in Las Vegas.
Oh, no pressure.
I know, right? Luckily, it was just on a booth, so it wasn't on a stage, thank goodness, because it was quite a lot. But, you know, I was like, it was for a volunteering project. I was helping this kid with a spinal injury who was partially paralyzed, helping his mum come up with a diary that she could share with her carer when she had to swap over sort of responsibilities of looking after him during the day when she was at work. So it was a really cool opportunity, but it was definitely volunteering. And I was like, there's no way my manager is ever going to send me to Vegas to talk about a volunteering opportunity. And I was like, do you know what? If you don't ask, you don't get. So I turned around and said, look, I know it's a long shot, but is there any way this would be a possibility? And, you know, she worked with the other departments who were involved in this project, and together they managed to pull together to find the funding to help me go. And if I hadn't have asked, I would never have had that opportunity. And that led to me speaking, and that led to me being at conferences more. And you never know what doors it's going to open.
No, exactly.
So ask the question. Ask for something, or ask why, or ask what's behind that. Be curious, be inquisitive, because you never know where it's going to lead.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I think it's a really good skill that people need to really develop.
Yeah.
To progress their careers and to really open doors.
Yeah, I mean, just in life in general, I think.
Yes.
Asking questions. You assume the neighbor is mad at you or whatever. do I bang the door too hard when I get home? Maybe
does it mean something?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we could just go and ask them. What? Is that legal? Not so sure. Yeah. So say you managed to encourage someone to see that, oh, I have this thing I could talk about, do a presentation.
Yeah.
Do you have any general tips for people how to build up their presentation, so to speak?
Yeah, absolutely. So presentation as in how to build up the story or how to build up their experience presenting?
Let's say story.
Story.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's about having clarity of what do you want people to gain at the end of it. So when I'm creating a presentation deck, normally what I'm thinking about is I kind of have an idea in my head of roughly what I want to cover, but often I actually write the summary slide before I write anything else. Because if I write the summary slide, then I know what is it that at the end my attendees should have learned.
Yeah.
Is it they've learned a lesson from me, or is it they've learned about a new technology, or is it they've discovered how to use a new technology? All of these things are lesson learned. And if you write out your summary beforehand, you can then work backwards from there to say, right, if I need to introduce a new technology, then let's do an introduction slide.
Yeah.
Then let's do maybe a deep dive slide.
Yeah.
Then maybe let's do a demo.
Yeah.
So I actually tend to work backwards, which might not seem to make sense to some people, but
I can see it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and to really have in your head that story of sort of having people often call it a story arc, right? So you've got the beginning and then you might have some tension or some struggle to empathize with the audience, and then having a resolution and a solution through that technology. That's often a route I go down. Yeah. Or having an analogy. Again, I love an analogy, so I have a lot of that. Yeah. Being clear about what's the story you're telling, what are attendees gaining for it, and then having a bit of fun with the bit in the middle. Yeah. And don't be afraid to, go outside your comfort zone. There's a speaker here at the conference, Holly Cummins. I love her to bits. She helped me get into speaking. She's fantastic, Red Hatter. And she actually, at the very beginning of her presentations, she was just using images from online. And then she thought, actually, there's copyright limitations, there's issues with that. Yeah. She's like, why don't I just draw them?
Oh, yes.
Now, she's not the best drawer. She will say this herself. But she taught herself to draw. After practicing and practicing and practicing, she got better and better. Her diagrams have gotten better. Now, if you go to one of her talks, all of her images are her own. Yeah. She's drawn them. And it makes it so much better as a presentation because you feel like you're getting a unique presentation, So put yourself outside of your comfort zone. Try things you've not tried before. Yeah. Whether it's drawing your own diagrams or making a video or making a GIF, whatever it is, try it. Yeah. Because it might make your presentation even better.
Yeah. It likely will, I would say.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, it makes it more you, like you said before.
Totally.
What's unique about you?
Yeah. I like my first presentation, I was a bit worried about the whole copyright issue with images.
Yeah, that's scary.
I am an awful artist. Okay, absolutely horrendous. No creativity, honestly. So I actually roped in my mum. So my mum is a primary school teacher and she draws excellent cartoons. So I asked her to draw me a set of cartoons of bees in doing different things.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. I scanned them in and that's what I used for my presentation and people loved it. Yeah. I mean, I did get the credit a lot of the time for the illustrations and I tried to correct it. It's not me, it's definitely my mum. Yeah. But it's just nice to be able to, if you've got a family member or maybe a kid or something that's into drawing, bring them into it. Yeah. Try it out, see if it works.
Yeah. And I think, actually, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I kind of feel like this AI image generation has given me more appreciation for people who create images themselves.
Yes.
No matter the way or the style or whatever.
Yep. Because you can see the effort.
Exactly. Exactly. This is someone actually poured energy into this.
Yep. And you appreciate it a lot when I feel like you pay attention more because of it.
Yeah.
And it almost, it feels like it resonates more with you because it's not just something you could see online.
No, it has a weight to it because it was actually made for this.
Yes.
this
presentation or for this blog, whatever it might be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, people should definitely give it a go. And if you're scared to give it a go, Holly's got a great blog on it. I'll try and send you the link so you can link to it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like to make extensive links, link lists for each episode.
I like that.
Yeah.
I normally have huge lists of links in my slides at the end, like more homework.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I want it. I mean, if someone listens to an episode and wonders about something, they should be able to look it up in the show notes and find a link for it.
Yep.
That's the way I think
Should
about
be
it.
the easiest way to go about it.
Yeah, and it's also really good for me. 6 weeks later, didn't we talk about this thing in some episode? Look, it's indexed by Google. It's awesome.
That is great.
Yeah, it's a win-win even when it's just me. Yeah, maybe that's a good spot to stop.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Grace.
No problem. It's been wonderful joining you here today. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, all the ideas and all the inspiration. Big thanks for listening to Kodsnack. If you want to support us, leave a review in your podcast player of choice, or just tell someone who might like the podcast about an episode. And don't forget you can come hang out in our Slack channel. A link is in the sidebar right on our website at kodsnack.se. Once again, big thanks for listening. Talk to you later.
Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.